Hello, so here we go with the Vinyl Tag Submission 2025 as suggested by Edwin, the pretty green vinyl guy, and had a lot of fun this week going through my collection and picking my answers. I've enjoyed watching some submissions this week, and I a few caught my eye that were cool channels to subscribe to, and that's a lot of fun. So, a couple of people that put out some stuff that has been real cool for me to learn about. So I hope this offers something for you as well if you're watching this. And yeah, let's get into it. All these questions, a lot of variety of questions, some real fun to answer. So I've got my stewed about a couple of the of the answers, that's for sure. Some last minute changes, but I think I'm pretty happy with my my choices. A lot of fun. So here we go. Question 1 was best purchase of 2024. Actually, quite recently for me. This is easily the best purchase for me of the year. It's the Tom Petty Wildflowers and All the Rest. And the reason I say so is what a fantastic record. So many good songs. Honeybee, one of my favorites. You Don't Know How It Feels. Cabin Down Below. Wake Up Time. It's just full of great songs. But what I love too is what an amazing package. Just gorgeous, very beautiful package. Amazing. Tom Petty's one of my absolute favorite artists. So, this was a really, really sweet find and a beautiful package. Very happy to have to add to my collection. That's easily the standout of my year, and it actually came quite late in the year. So, great treat. So that's my choice there. Best album from 1974. Well, that was easy for me, just easy. I mean, I was young, 1974. I was a pretty young guy then still, but this is one that is my pick, and it's an easy pick for me. Supertramp, Crime of the Century. And this is a special, fun memory for me because I remember being a young boy, and me and my twin brother and my cousins, we had an older person in our life, my uncle, who was, I guess 10 plus years older than us, a little bit more than that, my uncle Bruce, and he had some cool records, and we used to sneak. I remember we used to sneak into his bedroom, and we would catch glimpses of all this cool stuff. Supertramp, Cosmos Factory from CCR, Boston, all these records that he had. But this Supertramp, Crime of the Century, is the standout from that memory for me. What a great record. Okay, and an album that defines the genre. Well, most of this stuff came pretty quick to me, and then it's just a matter of you're not convincing yourself out of the first idea, and that's usually the way it is for me. The first idea is the one that counts the most. So, British Steel, Judas Priest, they're one of my favorite early bands, and this album is to me, defines what real early metal was. I mean, Metal Gods alone on this album answers that question. So that's my pick there. All right, I'm a Canadian guy, I'm from Toronto, just outside Toronto now in Oshawa, Ontario, and therefore the best band from my home country. Now, if you look over my shoulder, the Hip are a very important band to me. I love the Hip, one of my favorite bands of all time, but so is Rush. And to me, Rush is the best band from my home country. That's kind of, the Hip are right up there, but Rush is my pick. Okay, artists you miss the most. Okay, so there's a few artists that mattered a lot to me, but the one that I miss the most is Gord Downie from the Hip. And this is a Gord Downie solo effort that I have, chock full of really cool, very personal, beautiful songs. And this record I put on fairly often. Sometimes I just need to hear Gord's voice. I still listen to the Hip a lot, but this here gives you a better just a warm feeling. There's some really cool, beautiful songs in here, and Gord's voice is very prominent, and he's the one I miss the most. His poetry, everything about him, Gord Downie. Okay, best live album in your collection. Well, I've got a bunch, like we all do, and you know, I could pull out some pretty cool stuff. That's, you know, a lot of it is we'd all kind of agree is classics, but I wanted to show something that's cool in my collection that may introduce some people to, and if you don't know them already. But this very cool collection that I have, it's a 3-album set from Canada's own Matt Mays, and this is a very nice live set. It's one of those, it's kind of like a semi-acoustic set concert that he did, a very intimate concert, but it is just chock full. It's like a greatest hits. If you don't have any Matt Mays, this is the thing to get. It's got beautiful songs: Downtown, City of Lakes, Cocaine Cowgirl, On the Hood, Morning Sun, Wasn't Meant to Be, Indio, Faint of Heart. Like a lot of really great songs. And this is a wonderful set. So Matt Mays, From Burnside with Love. Okay, next question is, your partner dumped you. What you listening to? Well, again, that's pretty simple for me to answer, and came to me is I'm listening to Sea Change from Beck. I mean, this is a very somber type of cool, vibey album. And, you know, the songs, Guess I'm Doing Fine, Lonesome Tears, Lost Cause, It's All in Your Mind, Side of the Road. Nice record. Beck. Okay, best sounding drums on a record that you own. Well, again, we could go a lot of ways. Rush, big Rush fan, so that's, you could pick any kind of Neil Peart. You know, you could pick some Zeppelin, Bonham, but the choice I made was immediately sprung to mind is this record, Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden. It's got some cool songs on here. Run to the Hills, you know, Number of the Beast. But the reason is I wanted to give a shout out. Nicko McBrain just retired from Maiden, and Nicko was great, but the late great Clive Burr, this was his final album with Maiden, and he's wicked on this. The drums are stand out on this album, so that's my choice there. Okay, fave artists of 2 bands. Well, a lot of the artists that would immediately come to mind for me are within my my CD collection. So I wanted to stick with the vinyl for this group here and these questions. So my answer is the one and only Ronnie James Dio. So, you know, you could pick Rainbow, but I pick Ronnie and Sabbath, whether it's his Sabbath days, 2 classic records, or his solo band Dio. So RJD, the greatest heavy metal singer of all time, is my pick. Okay, here's a fun question. Beatles or Stones? And I see a lot of the folks out there are big Beatles fans. Okay, listen, I'm neither a massive fan of either Beatles or Stones, only because they were just a little bit earlier for me, and I was such a metalhead kid when I was young, and hard rock guy. So now in later life, I'm getting into both bands a lot more. But my choice, because of their, I guess, I'm thinking of more of a rock guy, and I've had this forever, and it's really cool, is I'm a Stones guy. If you were to say you must pick between the two, kind of like them both equally, but I'm a Stones guy. This is a very cool Hot Rocks. It's a very cool set that I've had for a long time. I mean, great songs on here. Let's Spend the Night Together, Sympathy for the Devil, Can't Always Get What You Want. Stones guy. So that's my pick. You found weed. What you gonna play? Well, if you're doing that to me, right away I would play Pink Floyd, The Wall. I mean, I remember being young, and I remember seeing the movie, The Wall, the movie, and it was a night that we were up to a lot of no good, and yeah, fond memory, but that would be what I would jump to. Okay, an 80s album you still play regularly. Well, again, came to mind right away, and it's Van Halen, 1984. Still play it, still love it. I remember Jump, such a massive, massive song, and still great. You know, hearing Eddie do the intro with the synth is just so cool. So that's my choice there. Okay, artist whose political stance has soured you. Listen, I was going to answer this, but it would be a made up answer because I really don't have a big problem with artists being political. I think that music and art lends itself to, you know, being political and having a stance and having a say, and I don't have a problem with it. I like it. So I don't really have anyone to call out on that, if I'm going to be honest. So instead, I'm going to switch that. It's the only question I'm not going to answer, and I'm going to tell you instead, because I'm not going to do a big year review video like some folks do, because I just don't have the depth of budget to have as many albums to choose from. But I will show you and tell you what is my pick for album of the year. To me, the best album of the year that entered my collection is Pearl Jam Dark Matter. And that is the substitute question that I'm going to answer in this one, okay? That's my pick for album of the year. Okay, favorite record label. And again, this is a fun one that I like the question. It's cool. And right away I thought of it. I'm like, oh yeah. When I was young, and I'm being such a Rush fan, Rush was very much involved in the formation of the Anthem record label. And I remember I have got a lot of records from Rush, and Max Webster is also one of my very favorite early bands, Max Webster. And they were, I guess, stablemates, you want to say, with Rush, and they were part of the Anthem team. And, you know, that blue label that Rush and bands like Max Webster, Coney Hatch was on this label, and a truly Canadian endeavor, and that's my pick there. I think I still love that light blue label. Okay, the next one is 3 great singles. So right away, a band that I've been into since you know, I kind of switched from the hard rock stuff into more 80s sound stuff, if you want to say. And a band that I've always loved, and they're just full of great singles. They really are. But the 3 singles in a row from Tears for Fears that I would call out would be their first 3, Mad World, Change, Pale Shelter. Tears for Fears, Roland Orzabal and Kurt Smith. What a great team. What a great collection of songs. If you look at this collection here, the songs on it, just wonderful. Tears for Fears, just really a great band that put out a lot of great, wonderful singles. RSD purchase that you play often. Well, you know, I don't have dozens and dozens of RSD purchases. I've gone out like we do and picked out some stuff. One that I do really enjoy having in my collection that got redone is the RSD Meteora output. And what I find just so cool about this record, it's such a great record. It's easily by far the best Linkin Park record, there's no question. But this RSD I thought was just beautiful on this brilliant blue, which just stands out because the record has the black and gold coloring, but then, you know, the blue, I suppose, to bring out the gatefold inside. So Linkin Park Meteora, great record. We're getting there. Okay, you're reincarnated. Who you being, dead or alive? Well, I wouldn't want to be reincarnated to somebody that's already died, because, you know, that's seems like not my choice. So I'd rather be someone that's still with us. Well, to me, the answer is Paul McCartney. I'm a song guy. I love songs, and all the music I listen to, it's all about the song. It's the songs rule, and McCartney is the king of making songs. So, and he seems like a pretty decent guy, and he seems like he's had such a long life. And what's cool is the guy still looks pretty good for his age, and he still has the chops to be able to hang with a lot of younger musicians and make a lot of cameo appearances on records, and he's just seems to be revered, but and so respected. And really, that's what you want to be in life, to get to that age and still have people that look up to you and like being around you. So he's my pick, Paul McCartney. Okay, best 3 lines of a song. Well, I'm a song guy. I love lyrics, actually. So I was driving myself nuts trying to pick my answer to this, and kind of overthinking it. And then I just realized, just go with my first thought. And my first thought is, okay, You've Got Another Thing Coming from Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. When I was a kid, teenager, growing up, having teenage stuff and having some big family challenges to get over, like people do. But, that song was kind of like my ringing anthem. And it's got some words throughout that are great and motivational. A lot of the music I listen to, even to this day, I love it when it's like motivational bands like Triumph and these Priest has a lot of, stand up and, Dio, stand up and shout, that kind of stuff. I love that music. So in this, in the world we're living in, we have our share of sorrow. Answer now is don't give in, aim for a new tomorrow. And that's part of You've Got Another Thing Coming. What a great song. So that's my answer to that one. And finally, an album you never get tired of. Well, the album that I never get tired of is, I listen to it, I would say, at least once every 2 weeks, once a week, is Rush, Signals. I just love this album. It's got such a beautiful sound, and it's complicated but not overly complicated, and it's just an amazing record. I love it very much. So Rush, Signals is my answer. And the last one, share a Fave VC channel. Well, how about the Pre-Green Vinyl Guy for doing this in the first place? And shout out to that channel. And yeah, thanks for sitting in with me and watching this if you did. And like and subscribe like we always ask people to do. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I'll see you again, maybe before Christmas. We'll see. If not, happy holidays to everybody. And we'll see you again soon, though, okay? Thanks for letting me participate. Bye-bye.